Hello everyone, welcome to day 7 Algebra 1 notes on solving proportions. All our proportion is an equivalent fraction, and we're going to cross multiply to figure out the x or the variable that we are missing. So you're going to probably want a calculator for when the numbers get bigger, especially on IXL, so make sure you have a calculator with you. So our first one, we have x over 7 is equal to 4 over 2. And again, just to cross multiply, we're going to multiply x times 2 to get 2x, and 7 times 4 to get 28. And that equal sign just drops down. Now, just like yesterday, it's solving our one-step equation. We're going to have to divide, and x equals 14. I know these numbers are kind of small, and might be able to just see it, but I want you to practice this because when the numbers get bigger, it's not as easy to see. So the second one, we got 3 over 6 equals 5 over x. Again, cross multiplying. I like to start with the diagonal on the x, just so that way I get the x term in front, and that's just usually easier. So we have 6 times 5 is 30. And now we'll divide both sides by 3, and x is 10. And the last one, we got 5 over 2 equals x over 6. Cross multiply, 2 times x is 2x equals 5 times 6 is 30 again. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 15. Okay. Again, on IXL, make sure you have one of these because the numbers are a lot bigger on IXL. And also you're going to need it for the second and third parts. If you want to pause the video and knock these out on your sheet, that might be a good idea. And then we're on to the word problems. Okay, so now on to the word problems. We have Mr. Johnson was paid $190 for a job that required 40 hours of work. At this rate, how much should he be paid for a job requiring 60 hours of work? And that word rate, I know I'm underlining on my computer screen here. That word rate, ratio, is just a fraction. So when you see that term, heads up, you're going to need a fraction and probably a proportion. So in that first sentence, we can make ourselves a fraction. We have $190 per 40 hours of work. I'm just going to label hours with H, dollars with the money sign. And we want to figure out how much he'll be paid if he works 60 hours. And now this is important. Hours and hours go together in the top or bottom. So if I had put 40 hours over $190, I would have put 60 hours on the top. So 190 goes with 40 hours, and then 60 hours and 40 hours go together on either both on bottom or both on top. And I'm trying to figure out how much you got paid. So again, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to cross multiply. 40 times x is 40x equals 190 times 60. Well, I'm going to get out my calculator here. 190 times 60 is 11,400. And same thing, divide by 40. I'm just going to use the calculator here. Divided by 40, and we get x equals 285, but make sure you label it. It's $285. Okay, money sign or the word dollars, doesn't matter. So if you want to pause the video here, I think you got 4 word problems like this. So if you want to pause the video here, work on those, that might be a good idea. Okay, now if you're back, we have an open response question, but it's not that long. It's just a little bit wordy. So in this case, it's 21. A person's score on a timed keyboarding test varies directly with the number of words the person types correctly. Each keyboard test lasts the same amount of time. On his first test, Frank earned 50 points when he typed 300 words correctly. Write what is the ratio of Frank's score to the number of words he typed correctly. Be sure to label your ratio. So again, a ratio, part A here, is just a fraction, and it's number of words, score to the number of words. So that means score is going to go on top. So we have his score was 50, not just 50 though, 50 points. Yes, you could just use P if you want, P for points, that's fine. And the number of words he typed correctly is 300, so 300 words, or just W for words. And that's it. That's your ratio right there. The ratio or rate is a single fraction. Our proportion is that double fraction when we set them equal to, which is what we need on part B. So now we got to make sure we read this before we read part B. If you ever see words before like part A, B, C, or whatever, this is going to be needed to do this part. So on his second test, Frank typed 450 words correctly. All right. And part B asks to use a proportion to find the score Frank earned on his second test. So part B, we're going to need our answer from part A. So we got 50 points over 300 words. And it gives us how many words he typed correctly on his second test. So that means, because I have words on the bottom, we're going to put 400 words on the bottom. And then we have X points on top. So now again, we're going to cross multiply here. We'll get 300x. You don't need a calculator for that. And then we got 50 times 400. Well, let's see. 50 times 400 is 20,000. And finally, we'll divide both sides by 300. And we will get 66.667. So let's just say 66.7 points. Okay. And part B, Frank wants to earn a score of 80 on his third test. How many words must Frank type correctly to earn a score of I'm sorry, I should say 80. Sure, explain how you got your answer. So Frank wants to earn a score of 80. Well, now we're still going to use our proportion from part A. So we'll put in part C. So we have 50 points for 300 words. But now he wants to earn 80 points. So here, we're going to put 80 points on the top. Notice points with points. And then X words on the bottom. So again, cross multiply. 50 times X is 50X equals 80 times 300. Well, let's see here. 80 times 300 is 24,000. And divide both sides by 50. And we should get 480 words. Okay, so that is it. So make sure on the open response questions, you got your work shown here. It's all fractions, ratios, proportions, cross multiply. On IXL, don't be scared with those big numbers. Use a calculator.